Hi, I'm Nishita Balia Singh, and I'm the co-founder and the CEO for Nexus Power. Now, when it comes to sustainability, a lot of times it's kind of not really understood very clearly. It's not only about having a product which is very green in nature or cutting down emissions. So when you talk about sustainability, it is supposed to be something which is the entire cycle, right, from the procurement of the raw material till the sell of the good and the finish of the product. I mean, the entire life cycle of a product should be sustainable. And I think one of the major parameters which really define sustainability and the kind of structures that sustainability could really build up for companies or corporates, it's very important that we do our part and analyze this kind of a situation where we understand whether the product has a complete sustainable life cycle, whether from the beginning, like cradle to the grave, it is sustainable, or we're actually missing out on major points in between. Because if you look at electric vehicles and if you look at the manufacturing process for electric vehicles, and if I have to add in the lithium ion batteries into that and consider the entire production cycle and the life cycle, production chain life cycle of the product, so it's not really as sustainable as we consider it to be. So I think that's how I would look at sustainability, and that's probably where I feel the world also needs to look at sustainability similarly. In terms of project managers, I think they are one very important aspect of any company when dealing with products and their services or their expansion strategies and the business strategies or the growth or the marketing strategies, the advertising, promotion. So everywhere you would see project managers coming in somewhere or the other because they are handling the projects altogether. So for them, if they can really put in their heads and brainstorm and understand how everything could be more greener or made more circular as an economy, I think it really helps. So probably if I have to, consider how project managers can benefit or change, I think it's pretty much they are the ones who are the driving factor. So if they could inculcate that into their work culture and the company's work culture, then that could really make a big difference. I have learned purely about being sustainable or being eco-friendly is if you can build a product, which comes from the soil and gets back to the soil. It's pretty much something like a industrial ecology, a circular economy. There is zero waste. Then that's pretty much something that really would benefit the world altogether, not only through sustainability but also for ages to come with a lot of other generations to come in. So then you try to actually understand the amount of chemically synthesized products we create, if that also you could build in a way that your entire cycle is circular and there's zero waste out of it, then you're actually cutting down a lot of pollution and a lot of trouble that we might need to face in the future. And maybe the harm that we're creating today, not realizing that it can really bounce back in terrible ways. I think we'll cut down that to a huge extent if we try and understand this part of the ecosystem and the theory, which precisely I learned when I started discovering the life cycle, the entire living chain of all natural organisms around the globe.